Yo, yo, it's your boy, the best that ever did it. Look at this beautiful slate we got today, guys. Crazy slate, crazy value. If you didn't already, go check out my Thursday through Fridays video. Um, I'm pretty sure you did if you're here right now, though. Be sure to leave me a comment, subscribe. Definitely subscribe because a lot of y'all that's watching isn't subscribed. And we on the road to 100 subscribers real quick. You guys are great. You guys are already going crazy. A lot of my loyals are already being loyal, watching every video I drop. I can see who's watching my video. A lot of y'all are loyal customers that are already, you know what I'm saying? Not even customers, like loyal people that just want to make money just like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna treat it as a business. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be a separate business entity than all of these other goofies out here. Everybody just trying to get money out of y'all, trying to get y'all to buy premium picks and all of that. We don't do that over here. We don't do that over here. You know what I'm saying? We just giving out locks and picks. And if you choose to listen to me or you choose to go against me, that's on you. But I'm saying my team, my loyal subscribers, we gon' prosper. You know what I'm saying? We gon' prosper. We all about prosperity, manifestation, and we gonna manifest another good week. We've been killing it the last 2 weeks. We've been killing it all. Man, the last 2 weeks have been a success. Very successful. Couple teams I was wrong about. That's of course gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get everything right. But man, we've been very good right now. So I feel like we gonna continue to keep going this on this heater. And we gonna start off right on big noon, y'all. This is where all the early slates at. This is a 9 a.m. start time for me because I'm on the West Coast. But let's kick it off with Auburn, Texas A&M. And y'all already know we gonna hit that lemon squeeze feature because it's so many damn games I gotta cover. But we gonna cover them all still. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we do it. We don't leave no game out. If it is any games left out, it's probably because it's a low tier school that's really not covered or posted on the sports betting apps for people to bet on anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's if it is left out. It's not on the sports betting apps, or at least mine. So let's kick it off with Auburn, Texas A&M. We were on Auburn against Cal. I thought it was going to be an over and Auburn for a win. I think that was week 2 or something. They still did get the win, but it was like 14-7. It was a very low scoring game. It was crazy. Cal clamped them boys up, man. Give respect to California. Give respect to California. Auburn looked very good in the game before California, and then they laid an egg in Cal, but they still got the victory without the cover though. You know what I'm saying? So Texas A&M is a 7-8 point favorite basically. Texas A&M coming off of a loss to Miami in a game where we took Miami, but I did like Texas A&M as well. It was like a 50-50 game. Texas A&M came out hot, and then they just kept letting Miami come in and kept getting more momentum. Then they kept getting better and better as the quarters have gone on. You know, Texas A&M just kept getting weaker as the quarters gone on. I like to see Texas A&M show a little bit more in the gas tank, a little bit more defense. This is a close game, though. I know both teams are coming out with something to prove. I like a little bit more what I seen from Texas A&M than Auburn, though. I think it's too many points to lay, though. I think it's too many points to lay with an unproven Texas A&M team. I'm gonna have to lean with Auburn plus the points. Yeah, this is crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Auburn way better against this against like tougher opponents. Auburn does play down to their competition. That's what I don't like about Auburn. They play up or down to their competition, and I think they play up today as well. They're 3-0, but look at who they beat. UMass, Cal. It was 14-10. My bad. Didn't even cover Five's points. And then they beat Sam. Who is this? Oh my God. I don't even know who that is. And they didn't cover 40 points, 38 points either. Yeah, I like Texas A&M money line, but I like Auburn to keep it close. Texas A&M money line, Auburn to keep it closer than everybody expecting. And that's how we're going to cap that one off. Oklahoma, Cincinnati. Cincy laid an egg against Miami of Ohio. But it was a close game. It was a rivalry game, Ohio rivalry. So it's it's not too shocking, but it was. Oklahoma's a dominant team. You know what I'm saying? I do like Cincy, but not against a big caliber fucking opponent like this. Oklahoma's a different level animal. Cincinnati's still playing down the competition and shit like that. So I'm gonna have to ride with Oklahoma on the money line. I don't know if they cover this, but I would lean towards that side. I would lean towards Oklahoma in the points, but I would rather do the money line as a parlay piece. And on the next one, Army, Syracuse. Syracuse 14-point favorite, 2-touchdown favorite. Army's coming to this one 14-point underdogs after coming off of a victory against UTSA. They did lose to Louisiana Monroe. So this is what you can expect from this Army team. A loss to ULM, and then they beat UTSA, a better team. It's like wishy-washy with them. Syracuse, on the other hand, is coming in 3-0 after beating Purdue handedly. That's why I said in my previous video, I think I like Wisconsin Badgers a little bit more to beat Purdue this week as well. But you know what I'm saying? Just all dominant wins in their first 3 games. I don't think the train stops here. I'm gonna lean with Syracuse in the points. But another money line pick for me, Syracuse on the money line for as a parlay piece. But I would lean towards Syracuse and the points for sure. Western Kentucky versus Troy. We kind of was on Western Kentucky a little bit last week, way before the fucking Saturday started. And then as we got closer to Saturday, we kind of like fell off of Western Kentucky. Like we knew they weren't the same. They weren't going to perform against Ohio State, and that's exactly what that proved to. We know we like Troy. Troy is way better than a lot of people think. And the 1-2 record would indicate that they won 1 game out of 3, but they're way better than their. They played Kansas State and had a pretty great game with them. So don't let this record fool you, man. Troy is the way better team. I got Troy on the money line, but I would lay the points with Troy as well. Troy -4. I could see that easily happening. Western Kentucky, I do like the over on this one as well. Both teams are gonna score. Both teams are gonna score. So you know what I'm saying? This should be more in the 60s. You see, it's already jumped up 2 points from opening. Yeah, I like the Troy, the money line, and the over on this one. Or Troy minus the points. Next game, we got an underdog pick right here, y'all. A lot of controversial pick right here. We on Virginia Tech in this one. This is Virginia Tech's boom or bust week. If they lose this one, they are a bust. But I think Virginia Tech can beat these boys outright. Marshall is nobody. Marshall's played 1 less game than them. Virginia Tech is way better than them on offense. Marshall put up 31 against ECU and 21 against Albany. as a 23-point favorite. You know what I'm saying? Albany. Albany almost beat them. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, Virginia Tech is on a 2-game losing streak, but they got a big win against a good Old Dominion team. We see how good Old Dominion was last week, right? We were on Old Dominion. We was in them on them on that game. Purdue. We were on Virginia Tech and Purdue, and they let us down in this one. Purdue did prove to be the better team, but last week's performance was bad. Rutgers just got off, and Rutgers wasn't even really throwing the ball a lot last week. Wimsit had like 50 yards by like the start of the fourth or some shit like that. They were just running it down their throat. Rushing defense on Virginia Tech is terrible. But with that being said, man, this is a prime example of an upset. Everybody's going to back Marshall in this one after those 2 losses Virginia Tech's on. Do not let those 2 losses fool you guys. Virginia Tech is much better than Marshall. When you see this +5, it's usually a live dog. And that's what we've been riding with. It proved to come into tuition 2 weeks in a row. Virginia Tech is much better than them. Let's not get confused. Don't let the books confuse you. We're on Virginia Tech on the money line in this one. On the money line, Virginia Tech. And we're going to cook up a 13-leg parlay at the end of this video. 13-leg that if you drop $25 on this 13-leg, you could win 111 grand. $25 get you 100K on this 13-leg. I'm about to cook up at the end of the video. So stay tuned to the end. Stay tuned to this end, man. It's shit crazy. This shit crazy this week. Virginia Tech, man. Money line in the over. That shit should not be at 41. Take the fucking over on this game. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? Virginia Tech on the money line and the over. Next up, we got NIU versus Tulsa at home. NIU's 4-point favorites. I like NIU to get this one. You know what I'm saying. I got to ride with my boys, NIU. Tulsa is not nobody that I'm looking to back ever. They beat Arkansas Pine Bluff, but that's about it, man. They got 2 badass matchups after that. Washington and Oklahoma. 2 of the scariest teams in the country right now. But against Arkansas Pine Bluff, they did look pretty solid. But that's against Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's not NIU. NIU was supposed to cover 12 last week against Nebraska. We already knew Nebraska was much better than them. SIU, that loss was more surprising, though. They did beat Boston College in an overtime thriller, and we see Boston College stuck it up with Florida State, so that's a pretty good win for NIU. I think NIU at home is a little bit better than when they're on the road. You know what I'm saying? Even though this was out on the road, I think they comfortable at home a little bit more. And against a Tulsa team that's not found their fucking stride yet because of tough components, I think Tulsa will find their victories at home as well. I'm going to side with NIU in this one on the money line. But this is a kind of a 50-50 toss-up game. Don't sleep on Tulsa. Do not sleep on Tulsa. But anyway, I like NIU on the money line slightly at home. Lean. Next up, we got Kentucky at Vanderbilt. Vandy is not looking that good, y'all. Vandy is not looking that good. Vandy is not looking that good, y'all. They lost to UNLV in their last one in a crazy finish game. They only beat Hawaii by 7. 0-4 on the spread. Vanderbilt is not good on the spread at all. They only beat Alabama A&M comfortably. You know what I'm saying? That's who they beat comfortably. Kentucky's coming into this one after a win against Akron by 32. Akron is terrible. Akron is terrible this year. They beat EKU, and they beat Ball State by 30. they're beating up on the lesser teams, and Vanderbilt is a lesser team to them as well. I don't know if they beat them by 14, but Kentucky's gonna win this game on the money line. Pretty easy pick right there. Vanderbilt will try to stick it out with them. Yes, they will. But Kentucky is much better on defense. I'm gonna lean with the defensive team and the better team that's all together, all around. Better coach. Kentucky has this one under their belt. Yeah, I can't trust Vanderbilt at all, man. They lost to UNLV. Next up, we got Rutgers at Michigan, number 2 Michigan. Rutgers coming into this one 3-0. But this is a game that's out of their tax bracket, man. Let's just be real. Rutgers looked good last week against Virginia Tech. Who they played? Is that Virginia Tech? Yeah, Virginia Tech. They played a good game at Temple. But we know Temple's having a down year. Temple's not the same team everybody knows and loves. And they played the worst team in the country with damn near Northwestern. One of the worst teams in the country. I think this is a wake-up game for Rutgers. That's why they're a 3-touchdown underdog. Michigan failed to cover against us on the UNLV game, and we didn't touch them after that. We know they're going to win the game, but we don't know by how many anymore. I think Rutgers do get the cover, and Michigan keeps trotting on to 4-0. Michigan wins this game outright, but Rutgers covers. Michigan is 0-3 on the fucking cover, and I think they don't cover this one as well. They can't cover against UNLV. They probably won't cover against Rutgers. FSU, the people who choked on us. FSU is the only damn team that fucking let me down on one of my tickets yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, last week. If FSU would have fucking covered against Boston College, Joe, I would have hit some crazy shit. But man, we ain't gonna even talk about the past. FSU played down at their competition last week. We already know Clemson is a joke. We were on Duke in that one. As soon as the game started with that Duke and Clemson game, I was like, yeah. Before the game even started, though, I already knew Duke was gonna be woke for that game. And that's exactly what we seen, y'all. Clemson has won their last 2 games after that in pretty dominant fashion. But I don't believe they're real. I don't believe in the Clemson this year. I don't even believe in Florida State in this game. Florida State coming into this one with a terrible performance last week. I do think we see an over right here. I think both teams score easily. Not easily, but I think both teams do score their fair share amount of touchdowns. I think we get over this total, and I think Clemson pulls off the upset. Everybody's riding Florida State. They're ranked in number 3 in the nation. I think they drop after this game. Clemson is a little bit better at home, man. I say that with a grain of salt, but Clemson is a little bit better at home. And I think Clemson is a live dog in this matchup. Unranked. Well, they're basically 23 in the country, so they're ranked, but they're damn near looking out. You know what I'm saying? On the outside looking in, kind of. I think Clemson moves up in the ranks after this victory. I'm going to take Clemson on the money line as an upset, like we took Florida. Everybody wanted to make fun of me about taking Florida against fucking Tennessee. I told y'all, Joe Milton is not it. I told y'all, Joe Milton is not it. He's not. You see, they already talking about bringing a true freshman in. Tennessee is not it. I told people that against Florida, and they still didn't listen to me. I know my loyals listen to me, because they know I'm the underdog king. Like I said, man, we're going to be making underdog king shirts, and we're going to be giving them out as merch. So be sure to be subscribed, man. You don't want to miss out on the giveaways. I'm giving out money. After we hit a big parlay, nigga, I'm giving out money. So be sure to be subscribed, man. Clemson on the money line, man. This is an upset waiting to happen. Everybody's snoozing on Clemson. Snooze on them all you want. Against Florida State, man, they wake up. Next game, We got TCU versus SMU. TCU is better than them. SMU is a pretty solid opponent. I can't say SMU is terrible, but TCU is a way better juggernaut, way bigger juggernaut than these boys. TCU on the money line, and I like the under. TCU money line and the under. It's way too many points for two defensive teams like this. It's going to be a 25 or 29, 17, 28, 20. You know what I'm saying? 28 to 20, 14 to 31. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to hit the 60s. TCU in a victory, dominant victory, but we get under this total as well. Next up, we got Toledo laying another big number, man. Another fucking big number for Toledo. Western Michigan Broncos. We know Toledo is the better team. We all know that. Toledo on the money line is the pick here, but I don't know if they cover this spread. They should cover this spread, but I don't know for sure about the spread. I would leave the spread alone on this one. Toledo money line, but it's going to be way too inflated with a 20-point line. It's probably a stay away game for me, but I like Toledo on the money line. Georgia Southern at Ball State. I like Georgia Southern to cover the 7, and here's why. Ball State showed us in that Kentucky game they were not ready for up against a bigger program. You know what I'm saying? Ball State's last game at Indiana State Sycamores. They look good. Yeah. They look good. But that's Indiana State. You know what I'm saying? This is not Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern is a great program. Stuck it up with Wisconsin a little bit before letting them run away with it. And it fucking was a push on the spread. They lost exactly by 21. We were on Georgia Southern in the 21 because we're fading Wisconsin every week. And that's exactly what we got, a push. It landed right on the number. 21-point underdogs. They covered the spread, the push. I think they're way better. They beat UAB comfortably. And I like UAB. I had UAB in that game. Georgia Southern proved it to me. I was wrong in that game. I had UAB on the money line for the upset. And I had UAB minus the 7. And then both of those were off. You know what I'm saying? I like UAB still, but after that UAB win, Georgia Southern showed me how they play. They showed me how they play. That's why we took them against Wisconsin and got the cover as well. They get the cover today again against Ball State. A Ball State team that's hella dormant on offense. They don't have the offensive horsepower to keep gunning with these Georgia Southern boys. I do think we see a higher scoring game, though. I think Ball State has their fair share, but Georgia Southern could probably get into the high 30s, maybe mid 40s in this one as well. 45-25, 45-21 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? 38-27, 38-24 or something like that. I think we get over this total or very close to it. And I think Georgia Southern wins this one very comfortably in the cover. Lay the 7 with Georgia Southern. Next up. Everybody doubting them boys. What we tell y'all, man, we gonna keep being on them boys, man. They were 21-point underdogs against TCU. And we rode with them the whole way through. I should have put them on the money line, but we just took the 21 points. And I should have put them on the money line, man. I'm thinking about doing that on this one as well. Oregon is a damn good team. They're 11 in the country. They should be damn near lower than that. They should be in Florida State spot. I like Oregon a lot, man. Them boys are serious. I know how good the Oregon Ducks are, but I also know how good Colorado is going to be, even without Travis Hunter after the injury. Like I said, Colorado should never be a 21-point underdog against anybody ever again against after that TCU performance. And look at where we are right now. They still should not be a 21-point underdog. I'm going with Colorado plus the 21 again to show the world these boys are serious. Stop fucking putting them a 3 touchdown underdog. This is not the Colorado from last year that won one game. It's not. It's not. That's total disrespect. I'm going to take them boys, man. I'm going to take them boys again. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the money line this time. Colorado in the cover. We ain't going to overcomplicate that shit. Oregon, they almost choked to Texas Tech. Don't forget that. We were on Oregon big in that one. After a fucking Texas Tech lost to Wyoming. We thought Oregon was going to blow the doors off them like how everybody's thinking right now. They going to blow the doors off Colorado, right? No. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here with that double-digit spread. That shit should be single digits. Stop disrespecting them Colorado boys. Not last year. Colorado, sprinkle shit on the money line. Fuck y'all talking about. Next up, we got FAU at Illinois. Fighting Illini, man. They look bad against Kansas, dog, and Toledo. FAU, they didn't look good either. I think Illinois gets a win today against a team that's beatable in FAU. FAU is 0-3 on the spread, so is Illinois. And I think this is a beatable team for Illinois to face. Illinois gets the victory, and I think we get a feel-good victory, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think they win by 14. I don't think so. I can't vouch for them. You know what I'm saying? I can't vouch for that. So I'm going to take FAU plus the 14 on the spread side, but I like Illinois to win this one for sure. It might be a fucking 14-point victory for them, but I wouldn't put my money on it. Next up, we got BC, Boston College, who stuck it out with Florida State, almost beat them boys outright against Louisville. 14-point underdog for BC. Louisville looked good last week against Indiana, but they did not cover the spread by 3 points. We were kind of on Indiana in this one as well, but we knew Louisville was the way better team. I had Louisville money line, but I thought Indiana was gonna keep it close like they did, and you could see against Georgia Tech, Louisville didn't even cover at Georgia Tech, but they still won by 5. I just think Louisville is a good team, but they allow too many points. I think Georgia Tech is a good team, but they allow too many points. Not Georgia Tech, Louisville. I think Louisville is a good team, but they allow too many points. I think with the upset factor Boston College has known themselves for, I think Boston College covers here, man, honestly. I think Boston College keeps it closer. And they show people that they're not a joke like they showed me last week. I did not like Boston College coming into that week against Florida State at all. I usually don't like laying big numbers, but I was laying it with Florida State against Boston College because Boston College did not look good the week before that against Holy Cross at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if Holy Cross almost beat you, what you think Florida State's going to do? And that was one of them times I got slapped in the mouth, man. Boston College stepped the fuck up. That's what they did. And I think we could see the same thing happen on a Louisville team that's letting anybody in the back door. I think Boston College covers, but Louisville wins. Next up, New Mexico versus UMass. New Mexico is not good at all. UMass is all right. They're pretty much not that good either. You know what I'm saying? They're at a certain level. I think we see UMass win this one on the money line. I'm not backing New Mexico. We were on New Mexico State last week again. 2 weeks in a row we were on New Mexico State. New Mexico State, week 2 though, they did let me down in week 2 after proving to be a tough, formidable opponent. They just let them boys run away with it at the end. And then last week against New Mexico versus New Mexico State, I was on New Mexico State and they proved me right. So I know New Mexico is not that good. UMass covered against them boys, EMU, like we said they would. UMass, I know what UMass is capable of. They're capable of beating this team easily. I like UMass in the points, but I'm going to just take the money line for safety. UMass on the money line. Next up, we got Dixie State, Miami of Ohio. No spread, no line. We already know it's going to be a big-ass spread. Miami, Ohio is going to win this, of course. I'm going to lay with them. I'm going to lay the points with them as well. I don't care if it's 42. If it's 42 points, I'm riding with them. I'm laying the points with Miami of Ohio. Delaware State or Dixie State. Yeah, Delaware State, they're so fucking garbage. Your high school could beat them boys, Delaware State. Probably your damn middle school. Next up, we got some big games right here now. This where shit gets freaky at. We got Miami at Temple. Big spread for a reason. Temple is ass. I'm sorry. I'm seeing a lot of goofies out here picking Temple in this one. Like Temple is I don't know if they're going off last year, 3 years ago. I don't see what people seeing in Temple. I like Miami to lay the number. I think Miami covers this one. 2-1 against the spread in their first 3 games. They showed us what to expect against a bigger opponent in Texas A&M, and we were on Miami in that one. I think Temple is way like 4 steps under this damn team. Like this is out of their tax bracket. Temple to lose big time at home. Miami is for real. Them boys gonna be holding them U's up. I think Miami blows these boys out by 30. Miami to cover that spread easily. BYU at Kansas. We gonna go with a contrary pick right here as well. BYU on the money line. I'm picking them boys. BYU plus the 9. BYU plus the 9. It opened at 8 and it's moved to 9. Are they drunk? People think Kansas is this good after last week? 28-point fucking favorites against Nevada, and you win by 7, dog? No, nothing Agoso. Them boys are not good. I mean, yes, they did beat Illini comfortably. Yes, they did. And they beat Missouri State. Nice. But them not BYU. BYU is for real. After this upset last week against Arizona, we were on Arkansas. I'm sorry, not Arizona. We were on Arkansas. We were fading BYU. Sam Houston State, one of the worst teams in the country. You only put up 14. Dormant offense. Next week after that, we were on Southern Utah to cover the 32 points. You damn near had us scared for a moment, but you let Southern Utah get the backdoor cover. They could have covered that easily if they didn't allow that last touchdown at the very, very end of the game. So I think BYU is a little bit underrated in this one, man. They should be 2-1 on the spread, but we got the backdoor cover because I knew how dormant of an offense they had on that week 1. But as the weeks continue, they look like they're getting better and better. Arkansas was a big favorite in that one, and I just think that's what we're seeing here. BYU's way undervalued against a Kansas team. Kansas is not better than Arkansas. So what are they thinking? You know what I'm saying? BYU to cover all day. BYU plus the points all day. That's a guarantee. But I'm going to sprinkle some on the money line. I think BYU wins this outright. Next up, we got Louisiana Tech at Nebraska. Nebraska should not be a 20-point spread favorite against anybody. I'm sorry. I'm taking Louisiana Tech in the points. Call me an idiot. Call me anything. I just think Nebraska is not it, man. Louisiana Tech has a little bit more fight in them. Nebraska is so fucking dependent on defense that they can't even remember the offense. Nebraska is not going to cover 20 points. Louisiana Tech to win. Louisiana Tech to fucking cover the 19 points. Probably to win outright as well. Keep an eye on that game. Next up, we got Ohio at Bowling Green. And we like Ohio in this one, man. They took a loss in their first game of the year. But after that, they was 3-0 in the last 3 weeks. Bowling Green. There, you know what to expect from Bowling Green. Last week when they played against Michigan, they put up 6 points. Game before that, they beat EIU. Game before that, they lost to Liberty by 10. Ohio coming into this one as a slight underdog to Iowa State, and they got the outright win, 10-7. But it's a little bit of a dormancy we're looking at. It's a little bit of a dormancy we're looking at here, man. You just can't get a lot generated on offense. But I do think they're a little bit better than this Bowling Green team. I do think Ohio wins, but Bowling Green covers. I don't like laying big spreads with this Ohio team just yet. They should not be a double-digit point favorite against anybody right now. Bowling Green probably the cover, but I like Ohio to win this on the money line. Next up, we got Texas Tech at West Virginia. West Virginia, man, I was on Pitt last week against these boys, and Pitt is not it. We're fading Pitt going on forward until they get a new quarterback, or unless they're facing a very doormat team. But Texas Tech is a great team to face, man. This is a crazy game. This is a 50-50 game. Texas Tech fought some big opponents, man. Oregon, they stuck it out with Oregon. I think Texas Tech has the offense to stick it out with anybody if you can stick it out with Oregon. But that defense also looked great in that Oregon game. If they didn't throw that late pick six, they would have won that game against Oregon. West Virginia just came and showed out, though, against Pitt as well. I think we get a low-scoring game in this one, man. The total is a little bit too high at 55. I think we get under the total in a defensive battle. It's going to be a defensive war. Defense, defense, defense is all I see in this game. Defense, defense, defense. Take the under, and I'm going to take West Virginia to cover the points. I like West Virginia a little bit on the money line as well. I think Texas Tech laid an egg at Wyoming. Texas Tech laid an egg in Wyoming. I think they could lay an egg in West Virginia as well. But it's a real low-scoring game. Anybody could win this one. But I'll lean towards West Virginia and the under. Next game, we got Maryland at Michigan State. Maryland proved it to me last week. We were on Virginia, and Virginia came out fucking red hot, 14-0 lead. And then Maryland just found ways to fucking beat Maryland and come back and win by more than a fucking dominant fucking fashion. Man, Maryland fucking did they thing last week, y'all. Maryland did they thing last week. Michigan State, they did not do their thing last week. They only mustered 7 points, allowed 41 to Washington. Washington is a way better team than Maryland, but Maryland is still way capable of lighting the scoreboard the fuck up by themselves. I like Maryland in this one, money line. I'll lean towards the spread as well. I could see them winning by double digits, 10, 15 points win. Maryland minus the 7.5 is my pick. Until we see some formidability, until we see some good coaching and, you know, them boys back in cohesion, the chemistry's there with Michigan State, we're not backing them. Next up, we got Duke at UConn. Duke coming into this one a 3-touchdown favorite, and I'm taking it. UConn is terrible. UConn is that bad, y'all. We're fading UConn for the rest of the year. UConn is that bad. Duke is gonna bust these boys' ass. I see a lot of people picking UConn in this one as well. Say, hey, UConn's gonna have a breakout game. UConn's gonna have a blowout game. They're gonna wait. No, they're not, boy. I'm sorry to tell you, they're not. UConn is not about to do that this year in football. This isn't their basketball team that just won a championship. This is football. UConn is not it, boy. They 0-3 for a reason, and Duke is 3-0 for a reason. I think Duke is gonna blow these niggas out by 3, maybe 4 touchdowns. I think we see an easy victory from Duke. UConn is that bad. I'm gonna say it 4 more times. UConn is that bad. UConn is that bad. UConn is that bad. And UConn is that bad. Duke to cover the spread. Ole Miss at Alabama. Now I'm gonna side with Ole Miss in this one, man. The quarterback situation at Alabama has to get figured out. A little bit of a confidence break for Milroe. They took him out for a fucking rookie that didn't do any better. And now they probably think about putting him back in. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a slap in the face. You're like, oh, you want to take me out for this dude who not better than me? Y'all seen he wasn't better than me. Now y'all want to come back to me? So it could kind of be one of those little emotional games for the quarterback. I think it's too much of a cloudy moment for these boys. Once it's like week 7, week 8, when things are more figured out, I'm going to look to the back of Alabama, but not right now. Ole Miss should not be 7-point underdog. They did look human against Tulane, though. I have to say that. Ole Miss did look human against Tulane. They could have lost that game if their quarterback didn't get hurt. And Tulane's quarterback got hurt that game or before halftime, and then, man, but it was close that whole half, that first half, and Ole Miss and Tulane, man. I think we see some scoring here. I think we see both teams light the scoreboard up. I think we get well over this total, and I like Ole Miss to win this one outright. I'm gonna sprinkle some on the money line, but I like Ole Miss to cover and the over. Sprinkle some on that money line for Ole Miss money line, though. Next up, we got UCLA at Utah. Man, until Cam Rising come back and we could see Cam Rising be the Cam Rising that we all know and love, I'm riding with UCLA. That 5-point is usually a live dog, and this is exactly what it is. UCLA should be the favorite by 5. Utah has not impressed me at all in the first 3 weeks at all. They did win, though, for me. We were on them against Florida. We were on them the next week after that. They did win, but their offense is too dormant for me right now. UCLA has that it factor, has that explosiveness in the running back, and I like the quarterback play a little bit better. I know he's young, but I know. I like the quarterback play just a little bit better on UCLA. I think that's the difference maker in this one. The quarterback, UCLA, even if Utah has Cam Rising back for this game, they're going to take time to get the rust off. UCLA is going to win this game. I like UCLA money line. UCLA money line. Texas A&M, Old Dominion on the money line. UTSA, Tennessee. This one tricky, y'all, because I don't like Tennessee right now. I told y'all we was fading them against Florida, and that's exactly what the fuck we did, and we got them on the money line. Florida on the money line. But against a UTSA team, I think Tennessee could strive. This is a different tax bracket, but I wouldn't be surprised, man, if UTSA kept it close. So when I'm like that uncertain, I like to take the team with the big spread. I'm going to take UTSA on the spread, but I like Tennessee to win this shit. Tennessee should blow these boys out, but I wouldn't put money on it. That's what I'm basically saying. Tennessee should win, yes, by 3 touchdowns. They should. But I don't know if they do, you know what I'm saying? I know they win the game. Tennessee is going to win the game, but I don't know if they win by 21. I'm going to take UTSA plus the points. And next up, we got Oklahoma State versus Iowa State. And they're still the favorite, dog. This is a slap in the fucking face. Oklahoma State money line. This is one of the locks of the week. Lock of the week. Lock this in. Write this down. Type it in your notes. Do whatever you got to do. Lock this shit up, man. Oklahoma State will win this game against Iowa State. Iowa State just lost to fucking Ohio by 10-7. In 4 quarters, you put up 7 against Ohio Bobcats. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Oklahoma State should not be the underdog. Oklahoma State should not be the underdog. Oklahoma State on the money line easily. Oklahoma State money line. Rice, USF. I told people Houston is terrible. Didn't I tell y'all that? Every week I've been saying this shit. I'm going to keep saying it. Houston is terrible. And what Rice went out there and do? bust them boys' ass. I was not surprised at all. I was on Rice in that one. Plus the fucking points. I keep telling people about Rice. Rice is a sneaky ass team, even in basketball. USF did not look good last week. That was against Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Even the weeks before that, they didn't look that fucking good either. I like Rice on the money line. I'll lay the 3 points with Rice, either or. Rice to get it done comfortably. South Alabama, they turned up last week, y'all. South Alabama got that win that everybody was expecting on week 1 and week 2. They got that win last week. Central Michigan is not nothing I'm happy to back. I like South Alabama to win this one comfortably as well. South Alabama's got their groove. They've found their stride. That cohesion is there now. The chemistry is there now. They look dominant. I think they dominate Central Michigan. I do. I'm going to take USA on the money line and on the spread. Next up, we got Jacksonville State versus EMU. I'm not a big fan of EMU. We faded them last week against UMass. It was a 7-point spread, and they won by like 2 points. So EMU did not cover, but they did get the win. Jacksonville State should beat these boys, but I don't know if it's by 6 though. I'm going to lean with Jacksonville State on the money line, though. That's my lean. Next up, we got Gardner-Webb at ECU. ECU's terrible, man. I do not like ECU, but they got pretty fucking lucky last week against App State. That's another team that fucking let me down in the first half. They came out the second half and fucking lit them up. Big win at the end of the day, but in the first half, man, they were letting ECU fucking lead the game and shit, man. It fucked my first half ticket up. If ECU would have fucking just rolled over like they did the second half, the whole game, that's a clear-cut victory for Appalachian State in the first half. But it wasn't the fucking case because ECU wanted to be a fucking pesky-ass pussy and mess my damn ticket up. But that's what we get sometimes, bad beats by bad teams. I'm not buying into ECU at all. I'll damn near take Gardner-Webb in any points we can get. I'll take Gardner-Webb in the points and just pray for the best because I don't believe in ECU. Even after last week, I don't believe that shit. Next up, we got Liberty at FIU. We were on FIU last week. I told people UConn is ass. Didn't I tell y'all? Didn't I fucking tell y'all, man? UConn is ass. They should not have been the fucking favorite at all. Now FIU's at home against a good Liberty team. Liberty turned the fuck up in that second half against New Mexico State. I was on New Mexico State in that one, and they just turned the fuck up in the second half. But last week against Buffalo, they allowed 27 points, but they put up 55. Liberty could light that scoreboard the fuck up, dog. And FIU could put up points as well. I like the over on this game. I like the over. I like that the fact that it's going down. It started at 54 and it's now at 52.5. I love that. Take the over. I like the over. And I like FIU to cover. In this one again. Next up, we got Georgia Tech. I like Liberty to win. But I like FIU to cover in the over. Next up, we got Georgia Tech at Wake Forest. Now I told y'all, man, Georgia Tech is a live underdog. There are a lot of people that sleep on Georgia Tech, man. I like Wake Forest, don't get me wrong. Wake Forest is solid. But I think Georgia Tech is a little bit better on offense. I think Georgia Tech gets the outright win here. Wake Forest played Old Dominion last week, and they barely won that game. Old Dominion is not as good as Georgia Tech. Man. And Old Dominion they led the whole game. First, second, third quarter, Old Dominion was in control. Wake Forest barely won that shit by the skin of their teeth. I don't think you could play like that against Georgia Tech and win. Georgia Tech to win this game on the money line. Georgia Tech to win this game on the money line. I don't see what everybody's seeing in Wake Forest. Next up, we got a hurt QB in Tulane versus Nichols. Even with the hurt QB, I like Tulane to bust these boys' ass. Nichols State is ass. I like Tulane to dominate these boys from start to finish. Next up, we got Houston versus Sam Houston State. Houston is asshole. Houston is ass. I keep saying that shit every week, but this is the week that Houston gets their feel-good victory. Sam Houston State is just that bad. Houston will get this feel-good victory against their little brother. Houston to win it big. Houston -10. I'll lay that shit. I'm laying it big. This is when Houston will look good. But against a solid team, Houston is ass. Houston is not beating nobody that's good this year. They could beat the bad teams like Sam Houston State, though. Next up, we got Nevada +17 against Texas State. Y'all already know I like Texas State, man. Texas State is solid. We caught the cover with them 2 weeks ago. We didn't touch them last week. Nevada did get the backdoor cover against Kansas. That's why I'm not high on Kansas this week. Nevada did get the backdoor cover. But they did lose that game ultimately. You can't really trust Nevada to keep that shit up every game. But I do think we see a higher scoring game in this one. Probably a 70-point game. I think Nevada covers this spread, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a fan of Texas State. We were on them after that Baylor upset. We were on them the second game after that Baylor upset. And they proved me right, man. They covered the spread easily. But I do think Texas State allows too many points. Texas State's defense is suspect. Nevada showed formidableness against Kansas, so I think they could do the same here. I think Nevada covers. Texas State wins. Next up, we got Washington State. They're still fucking... Second lock of the day, y'all. Well, probably the third one with Colorado. We're going to consider Colorado +21 a lock. We got Colorado +21. Oklahoma State on the money line. And so far, we got Washington State as well on the money line. 3 locks so far, y'all. 3 locks so far. And they all underdogs, too. So imagine what that 3-leg underdog will pay out. Oh, my goodness. Washington State should not be the favorite. Should not be the fucking underdog here. At home, Oregon State. Who did they beat? Who did Oregon State beat? Nobody really, man. They last game they beat San Diego State, San Jose State, UC Davis. They didn't play nobody yet. Washington State at least beat Wisconsin. They beat Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? And a good Colorado State team. Man, they tripping on this one, dog. I don't see what they seeing in Oregon State. I don't see it in Oregon State. I don't see it. Washington State money line. Easy. Next up, we got Arizona. I told people about Arizona. They're different. This year. I like the over in this game. Arizona is a good team now. Delora, their quarterback, is pretty good. He will give a little turnover so here and there. But they're pretty good on offense, man. Like I told y'all, take them boys in Mississippi State. We damn near got the outright victory. That shit went to overtime. I think if Arizona was at home, it could have been an Arizona victory. But yeah, Arizona to get this victory. And I like the over. Arizona money line and the over. Next up, we got Florida at Charlotte. Charlotte is a bust. Charlotte is a bust. They stuck it out with Maryland that one game. They were leading at one point in the first half against Maryland, but they still let Maryland climb back in it and win it. And they're not no match for Florida. They're not a match for Florida. Florida's going to dominate from start to finish. I like Florida money line on more. I know it's going to be a terrible money line. I would lean towards laying the points with Florida though. I don't think Charlotte could hang with them for 4 quarters. I would lean towards the points with Florida. Next up, we got Arkansas at LSU. Arkansas just laid an egg at BYU against BYU at Arkansas's house. I think Arkansas showed us what the fuck they're about, man. When it gets clutch, when it gets into that clutch time, Arkansas, man. Once it gets clutch, they let that shit go last week against BYU. We were on Arkansas. We did not believe in BYU. Now I do believe in BYU, man, against that shit last week. But I think this is too many points to be given an Arkansas team who's a formidable opponent. I think they lose this game by 10 points, maybe 8 or 9 or 10, but not 18. Maybe even 15, 16, 14-point win by LSU, but not fucking 17, 18. I think it's too many points to give Arkansas. I'm going to take Arkansas plus the points, but I like LSU to win this shit comfortably. I like LSU to win comfortably, but not by 18. App State is a slight underdog now against Wyoming, and I can see why. App State coughed it up a little bit against ECU, one of the worst teams in the country. I see App State plays up and down to their competition. That's what they do now. I see how they are. I see what team they are. They play well up to their competition against North Carolina. And then next week, we're on App State big. App State's on every fucking ticket I got. And they fucking have a fucking roller coaster game, man. Luckily, they ended up winning that game, but it was looking bad for App State entering halftime against East Carolina. Like, this is college football at its finest, man. You cannot predict shit like that. Yeah, I see why App State is the underdog here. Wyoming beat Texas Tech. Wyoming did beat Texas Tech at home. That home field advantage is different for Wyoming. I think App State has to get a little bit back on track. I think they got knocked off track. They got caught off guard. They're considering how good they are, like I am. They're considering it themselves. Like, are we really this good? Like, that's what they're saying in their head. I think Wyoming is going to win this game. I'm going to take Wyoming to win the game on the money line. Next, we got Colorado State as an underdog now. I like Colorado State on the money line on this one, man. Middle Tennessee should not be the favorite. They did stick it out with a big school, Mizzou. They did stick it out with Mizzou. They did. That's why we faded Mizzou against Kansas State, and it was a fucking field goal loss for us. But I think Colorado State, after last week's gained a lot of confidence. They got a fire lit under their ass. They had a chance to take down Colorado. I think they come out swinging in this one. Middle Tennessee's well short of this talent they got on Colorado State. I think Middle Tennessee has a rude awakening coming. I like Colorado State on the money line. Next up, we got Southern Mississippi, my bad. Southern Mississippi at Arkansas State. Arkansas State is one of the worst programs in the world. They're probably worse than They probably worse than if it was UConn versus Arkansas State, I would take UConn. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how bad Arkansas State is. Or if it's Sam Houston versus Arkansas State, I'll probably lean Sam Houston. Like, that's how bad Arkansas State is. Southern Missouri to win this game by double digits all day. Southern Missouri to win this game by double digits. I'm taking the points with Southern Missouri all day. Memphis at a neutral site against Missouri. Missouri got the field goal win last week against K-State. I like K-State in that one. It was a bad beat. It happens. But I don't believe in this Missouri team just yet. I'm not a big fan of this Missouri team. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of this Missouri team. I don't believe in them just yet after that K-State win. I still don't believe they're better than K-State. Memphis is an underdog looking to bite in this one. I just don't think Memphis is just ready yet. Just a little bit not ready yet for Memphis. I think Missouri wins this game, but it's a close fought game. I'm not sold on Missouri at all, but I do think they win this game. Missouri on the money line at home, and then I'm looking to fade Missouri after this matchup. Next up, we got number 7 Penn State against Iowa. Way too many points to give Iowa in this one. Yes, Penn State has looked good. Yes. They have looked good. But they're no better than like an Oregon. You know what I'm saying? They're no better than even this probably Iowa team. Like, I think Iowa covers this point spread easily. Iowa coming in this one. They put up a little bit of a dormant offense in the first 2 games. Penn State came into this one after winning against Illinois and Delaware. They beat West Virginia big too. I like Penn State to win this one, but I like Iowa to cover. Everybody's going to be expecting Penn State to blow them out by 2 touchdowns or more. I think Penn State does win the game. Yes, they do win. Penn State will win the game, but I like Iowa to cover 14. Next up, we got number 1 Georgia against UAB, who could score. I like the over in this game. It should be a 65-point total, 60, something close to 70. I think we get well over this total. It's a shootout from start to finish. UAB is going to score, and Georgia's going to score. Nobody's going to stop anybody here. Georgia will have more stops, of course. They're the better defense. I like the over, though. I think UAB will put up at least 14, and I think Georgia's going to put up 40. Well over the total. Take the over, take the over, take the over, take the over, and Georgia to win. I don't think Georgia covers the spread either. UAB could put up a little 17-piece, 14-piece. Georgia could put up 40. And I don't think they cover. I think it's more like a 30-point win for them, not 42. 30-point win for Georgia, not 42. I like the over in the UAB cover. Akron at Indiana. We gonna leave it as simple as possible. Indiana's gonna bust these boys' ass. Akron is gonna lose by more than 20. I like Indiana to cover that 16. Mississippi State versus South Carolina. I'm not a Mississippi State fan. I told people against Arizona they had a chance to lose that game, and they did. And they won it in overtime, but I'm not sold on Mississippi State. I like South Carolina on the money line. Minnesota at Northwestern. I got Minnesota on the money line. I don't like Minnesota at all by any stretch of the imagination. They're not a team I'm looking to back by any stretch of the imagination. But against Northwestern, one of the worst teams in the country, Minnesota has what it takes to beat these boys. I don't think Minnesota covers, but I think they win. Texas at Baylor. Now, this is a crazy game, y'all. Crazy game, man. Because Baylor is better than a lot of people expecting after that Texas State loss. I think Texas is a little bit overrated, too, after the Alabama win. A little bit overrated after that Alabama win. But I do think Texas is the better team. Texas wins this game. And they probably cover as well. I think Texas could dominate them boys. Just like Texas State did. You know what I'm saying? I think Baylor gets dominated from start to finish. But don't sleep on Baylor, though. I say that, and I mean that shit though. Don't sleep on Baylor. Don't overlook them every week. But I think Texas is out of their pay grade. Ohio State at Notre Dame. I'm gonna back Notre Dame in this one. This is a classic game. When you got a defense like Notre Dame, them boys could get after it. They're not just gonna be throwing streak routes all day on Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? That's what Ohio State is doing, throwing streak routes and just letting Marvin Harrison come out and do what he fucking do. That shit's not gonna work against Notre Dame's defense. Notre Dame has one of those defense where you have to do something different. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna scout for you. They're gonna game plan for you. And I think that's exactly what we do. Notre Dame's a home underdog, and they're 4-0. Have one more game of experience and game planning to do than Ohio State. I think Notre Dame finds a way to eke out a victory. I like Notre Dame on the money line, but I'll take 3 points in my back pocket for safety. Buffalo Bulls at ULL Lafayette. Raging Cajuns, man. I like the Raging Cajuns to win this shit on the money line. Easy pick for me. Raging Cajuns on the money line. Next up, we got UCF, K-State. Woo! Easy over. Easy over. I'm so glad it's getting bet down. I'm so glad it's getting bet down. And I like Kansas State on the money line. UCF struggled with Boise State, but they did get the victory. We were on UCF in that game. We did say it was a 50-50 coin toss game because Boise State is the best school in their fucking division, probably. But UCF doesn't have the fucking firepower to hang with Kansas State. No, they don't. No, they don't. But it will be some points scored. I like both teams to score over 20. And I think we get well over this total. It's a 60-point game. K-State to win and cover and the over. James Madison at Utah State. I got James Madison to cover that spread. That's a 7-point spread. That's so easily to do. They could do this in the first quarter. They could cover 7 points in the first quarter. James Madison to cover and win. 7 points. Lay it, lay it, lay it. I'm laying the points with James Madison. Next up, we got UNC at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a fucking fraud. I was on Pitt last week. I think UNC is overrated, though. I do think UNC is a tad bit overrated. But the spread is just right for these people in this game. I think they win by a touchdown. UNC has what it takes to beat these boys. Pittsburgh cannot generate any offense by any whatsoever. Pittsburgh's offense is their downfall. When you're just leaning on all defense, you're not going to win a lot of the games, especially against a good offense in North Carolina. I think we get over this total. It's more of a fucking, it's more of a 55-point total I got this projected at. I like to get over this total and North Carolina to win a close game. But I do think North Carolina covers. I think it's like an 8-9 point victory for North Carolina. Next up, we got UNLV at UTEP. I like UNLV to keep riding high after that victory, man. That's a great win. I like UNLV to win this on the money line at UTEP. I think UNLV is, pretty feeling good about themselves. They know they're capable of winning now. And I think they do exactly that at UTEP. UNLV on the money line. USC versus Arizona State. I got USC to cover that spread. Arizona State, everybody's picking Arizona State, and Arizona State's gonna have a game where they wake up and USC, yes, it's Caleb Williams, but USC is gonna go. No, USC is one of the best schools in the nation. Arizona State is 4 fucking tax brackets away. USC to cover that spread easily. Kent State at Fresno State. We got Kent State. I'm not laying that many points with Fresno State, but even though it is Kent State, I still can't just fucking back them. So I like Fresno State to win this one, but I'm not trusting them to win by 4 touchdowns. I do think we get an over here as well. I think I like the over more than anything. Over 50.5. Next up, we got Cal versus Washington. Now, Washington is nobody you want to pick on, nobody you want to play against. Washington has looked like the fucking real deal. Washington is serious. Do not pick on Washington. But I also say that about California as well. After we seen them stick it up with Auburn, I think California covers this, you guys. Everybody's going to be looking to ride high on Washington. I am too. I'm very high on this Washington team. But I think this is the week that they're a little bit overvalued. Overvalued. Way overvalued. California will stick it out with these boys, at least in the first half. I got California to cover in the first half, at least. Washington can blow the doors off them boys late, but I like California to cover the spread in the first half. Next up, we got New Mexico State at Hawaii to close out the night. Another lock. Lock it up. I got New Mexico State in the money line. I've been riding with New Mexico State, win or lose, and they've been showing me what they're capable of. They're capable of beating a Hawaii's rainbow team. Hawaii is not it this year. This is a down year for this program. New Mexico State is having a bit of a better year than they thought they were going to have. So I like the upside for New Mexico State more than the upside for Hawaii. Hawaii's overrated at home. And I like New Mexico State to get the job done today. At the end of the fucking night, New Mexico State on the money line is my last pick. Let's kill it this week. And like I said, I got a 13-leg parlay for y'all that if you drop $25 down on this shit, you could win $100,000. Here we go, 13-leg. We got Boise State, money line. Virginia Tech, money line. Georgia Southern, money line. BYU, money line. Colorado, on the spread, plus 21. Colorado on the spread for plus 21 against Oregon. Maryland, money line. Rice, money line. Colorado State, money line. James Madison, money line. Houston Cougars, money line. Washington State Cougars, money line. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, money line. And the UCLA Bruins, money line. 13-leg parlay. We're not asking for too much. If you drop a 25 on that, that's going to give you $111,000. Let's hit these boys big this week. Let's think big. Let's do it smart. Separate that 13-leg. Separate that 13-leg I just gave you into threes. You know what I'm saying? You could put $2 down on that 13-leg just to see if it hit. You know what I'm saying? Put that 13-leg in, because I am. And we're going to separate it into threes as well. Chunks of threes. Switch them up. Put them in a hat. Pick them randomly. However you do it. Threes. Put 20 down on the 3. 40 down on this 3. 60 down on this 3. 10 down on this 3. 5 down on this 3. $2 down on this. Like, you don't got to bet big every time. I don't bet big every time. But I'm saying, when you got these good underdogs like this, it creates value for you to bet bigger and gain more back in less teams. So if you got 3 good underdogs, put them 3 underdogs on a team together and put more down than you would on a lot of favorites. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how we beat the odds. That's how we beat the books. We take underdog value and convert it into over value. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people take underdogs and put less money on it. We take underdogs and put a little bit more money on it. You know what I'm saying? Let's play smart. Let's play fair, and let's kill the books, man. It's your boy, Yo, the best that ever did it. We gonna continue to smash it. Find these best underdogs of the week, like we always do. Finding the underdogs, man. That's what I do. Underdog King leaving out. And we gonna catch you on this next week.